What's up, my poker players? Today we've got part one of a two-part session. I actually lost money during this session, but there were a ton of interesting situations I got in, so we're going to go over those today and tomorrow. And we got this hand to start it out. Shit. Well, we're going to start out by forgetting about that last hand and moving on to pocket tens from middle position. Going to make a standard raise here to 3 times the big blind. Folds around to the small blind who makes a call. This is it's a regular, but a little bit of a fishy player here. Bets a lot on the flop, so I'm going to make that call. Pretty dry board. A jack, I think, would have continued betting there. So I'm going to bet pretty large here and try to get some value out of flush draws and pairs that are smaller than mine. And he winds up folding right away. Take a small pot right there. See, we're slowly getting it back. Now we're looking at ace-king from under the gun. Going to make a raise, obviously, and we're going to make it 3x. Table looks like it's actually filled with mostly regulars except for Joe Tran 007 and King Ray 33. We get called directly on our left. A lot of times that call right there is just going to be like a smaller pocket pair. So we're going to come out, make it 2/3 right away. It's a draw heavy board. We hit our king, top kicker, but I could see one of these players playing one of these draws. So the flush hits on the turn. I'm just checking it back and see if I can't induce a bluff here on the river. And that's exactly what happens. He winds up calling the flop with a 5 high and bluffing at the river. That was very interesting, but you can never put plays like that past fish, and oh man, you just gotta love when that happens. Now we're looking at pocket jacks. We have an under the gun raise to 3x. We just make a call from a regular playing under the gun. Raising is going to be usually strong hands. We are probably behind actually most of their range, and we get a min raise from the button, who is a very, very loose fish. So I'm gonna come back over the top here and make this fish pay to play and try to get some value out of him, who his VPIP is 90% pre-flop, and he re-raises me. I think I have most of his range beat, so I'm just gonna go all in, get it all in, flop top set, and he winds up hitting his flush. So I lose a pretty big pot there, but what are you gonna do? That's gonna happen once in a while. Either way we look at that play, it's going all in the pot no matter how we look at it. If I just call him on a pre-flop, he had the nut flush draw and I had top set, so it's gonna get in either way. But what do you guys think about that play? Would you have done that? Would you have just folded pre-flop? I thought this player was very fishy. Tell me down in the comments what you would have done if you were in my situation, though. And now we're looking at pocket kings in the small blind. It folds around. I make it 4x to the big blind. You always want to raise a little bit more and put some pressure on this player when you're playing out of position. A lot of regulars will notice, people trying to steal out of the small blind, and will call a lot of hands if you just make it 3x, 4x. And I wind up flopping top set, and I come out with a 2/3 pot size bet right away. I'm going to keep on that trend, a little bit bigger than 2/3 on the turn. Try to suck as much value out of this regular as I can. Thinking about it, makes the call. That river did not help him at all. So hopefully we can get some more value out of. Maybe he's got a king, weak kicker, or maybe he'll call with a queen jack, something like that. I'm making a pretty large bet since he's called 2 already, and he isn't going to put me on kings guaranteed. He does make the call. We don't know what he had. That hand worked out pretty well against a regular. Next hand we're looking at is pocket jacks. Under the gun, make it 3x. We get a quick call from Blackjack 64 in middle position, who is a fish and has a very high VPIP pre-flop. Also, kind of a regular player, 972 hands on this player. Pretty low aggression factor, but you're going to have that a lot with short stackers. And we get raised pretty big in from the big blind, and I just make the call from the big blind raise. That player has a 25% queens plus 3-bet percentage. So I think this player just makes that move, trying to make a squeeze play on me and blackjack. He comes out half pot size bet, and I'm going to come back and make it a little bit larger than a min raise to find out exactly where this player is. He makes a call. So now we're in a very interesting hand. My stack to pot ratio is exactly 1. He's already pot committed. I check back the turn just because I think that there's a chance that he could have queens, kings, aces, and he checks on the river. I wind up hitting my full house, fucking perfect river. Gotta love when that happens. He's pot committed, so I put all the chips in the pot, and hopefully he hit his flush or he's gonna call with something. I don't know what hand he could have had that called my flop raise, but then folded on the river that hit the flush. Unless he was playing like an ace king or something. That was another interesting play. Ace king is the only thing I think he possibly could have played that way. And now we're looking at pocket fives in the big blind. We get a middle position raise to 3x. I make the call, flop bottom set. Check the flop. He also checks back. I make a pretty large bet, a little bit bigger than 2/3 on the turn. He does make a call, pretty quick call. You have to think he's got a stronger hand here. He might have just checked back a ace on the flop, and so I'm going to make another big river bet, and he does make a call, win a decent pot there. He has very low fold percentage on the river, so I think I could have made it a little bit bigger, but I'll take it. It's a pot. Now we're looking at ace jack from under the gun +2. Make a standard raise. This is one of those hands where you're in early position. You might actually think about folding it if you've got a lot of loose players to your left. But at these lower stakes, I think you can play something like the ace jack offsuit. And we get called from the player directly to our left. T-Knight short per 6. I have no idea what that means. And everyone else folds, so it's me and this player. Very dry flop, ace high. I check it back because this guy has high fold tendencies on the flop. So he comes out and makes a small bet. I just make a call. I check back the turn as well, which he also checks. So I know he does not have an ace. I'm going to try to get as much value as I can out of middle pair and see if we can't get a call from him. And he does make a call. Another decent sized small pot. We'll take them, right? Those are the ones that add up. If you can win a couple big blinds here and there, it's going to make your win rate much, much higher. And now we're looking at pocket 10s from the hijack seat. Make it standard 3x raise. Folds to the small blind, who makes a call. This is the player we just got in a hand with, so we kind of have a read on him already. We know he's going to call the river light, but he might also know that we aren't betting unless we have something. So it could give us an opportunity to bluff. Everyone checks the flop. With pocket 10s, you pretty much just have showdown value with a hand like this. T-Knight short, PR, does his small bet again. We have a flush draw middle pair. I don't think you can get rid of that for 60 cents. And so I make a call, wind up hitting the flush on the river. It's another small pot against this player. We're just going to try to get as much value out of it as we can again. And hopefully he makes a call with, maybe he's got a 9. Maybe he'll call with a queen. So we're just going to make a small bet here. Something that is going to induce a call, and he winds up making the fold. He was going to fold pretty much any hand there. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on part 2 of this session. Go down to the video description to check out all the great links for poker products like America's Card Room and Hold'em Manager, which is the HUD that I use. I've also got links to the social media for DK Poker down there. Share this video with anyone who might be interested, and hit that like button if you thought it was good. Part 2 will be coming tomorrow. Until then, I'll see you out on the virtual felt.